The presenting sponsor of Upmarket is Aereo, the best place to grow and manage your real estate media business online at aereo.com. That's ARYEO.com. Coming to you from the Upmarket studio at Gasworks in beautiful San Buenaventura, California, this is Upmarket, a podcast about the business of real estate photography and media. My name is Reed Fish. I am the CEO and a co-founder of Upmarket Media. And, you know, I got some ups and downs happening in my life right now. And one of the downs is that Mark Corcoran, my business partner, is not here, not on the show. That's okay. I think we'll get through. And the other down is that, you know, Chelsea Froelich, our producer, is not here, and she's, producing in her heart offsite. But, you know, one of the big ups is that actually I get to talk about iGUIDE and PMRE. Look, this is a Road to PMRE episode, and we are so happy that this year we are partnering with iGUIDE on our Road to PMRE episodes. So please, I implore you, go to goiguide.com and you can check out all that they have to offer. They're a wonderful company making floor plans and virtual tours and all the stuff that that you can sell to your clients. And it's been a wonderful relationship to work with them. They're going to be at PMRE. They're going to do a lunch and learn. I don't know if it's sold out or not. I would implore you, if you're going to be at PMRE, to check out iGUIDE. At least talk to them at their vendor booth and go to that lunch and learn if you can. And PMRE, of course, is coming up. It's the Photography and Media for Real Estate Conference in Las Vegas. It is November 13th through 15th at the Palms Hotel Resort and Casino. I am so excited. We are going to be there. And look, I got two things I want to talk to you about here really quick about this. And one is that on Friday, October 11th, that is the last day that PMRE is it will have the guaranteed rate for rooms at Palms. So look, I want you to book your rooms, and that's not to say you can't get the same rate later. It's the last day it's guaranteed. And if rates skyrocket or whatever, there's also right across the street now, the Rio Hotel Casino just revamped their rooms. I hear they're super nice, and they're actually super. Last time I looked, they were like $89 during the conference. So even if you miss out on the Palms rates, which you're not going to, because you're going to register right now and you're going to like get in there on the hotel rate. I would implore you to check the Palms as well, because the rates aren't necessarily going up, but they're only guaranteed through Friday, October 11th. And look, I want you to come to PMRE. That is something that on this podcast we have been talking about for so long. And look, and if you know anything about me, after listening to 75 episodes of this damn thing, you know I'm about the fiercest negotiator in the whole world. I get what I want. And I took Brandon Cooper, I took him to the mat. And I got our listeners the best coupon code that we can get for this conference. So if you use the code UPMARKET100, you're going to get $100 off an admission to PMRE. And that's the 2-day or the additional with the optional 3rd day. Either way, you can get $100 off your admission, and then you're going to get those. And because you're going to register this week, you're going to get in there for those cheap rates at the Palms, or you're going to stay at the Rio across the street, or you're going to pay more at the Palms, whatever you're going to do. But you are going to get $100 off your admission to PMRE. And if you're factoring in flights, you're factoring in hotels, you're factoring in all the stuff, and you just don't feel like you can make it, there is a live stream and then an on-demand playback of PMRE, which is the price is much less. And you know what? I even have a coupon code for that, and that's Upmarket 75. So if you want to be in person, it's Upmarket 100. You're going to get $100 off. If you don't want to be in person, which I mean, so much of it is like being there for the networking, being there for everything else, but there's so much value to be had from the presentations and everything else that using the code Upmarket 75 for the live stream, I think is a fantastic option if you cannot make it this year. So go to pmreconference.com to register and get $100 off with the code UPMARKET100, please. And we actually have some swag this year that we have made for Upmarket Pod. So we're going to get any listener who comes up to Mark, me, Bethany, or Nikki, all of our Upmarket crew who will be there. You know, we'll give you some of our swag. You're going to love it. You're absolutely going to love it. And speaking of PMRE, and this is a Road to PMRE episode, we do, of course, have one of the speakers and a workshop instructor for PMRE 2024. And it is Alex Abramian of the PR Collaborative. And Alex, so you're a publicist, and sometimes I think of like us as real estate media professionals as kind of publicists because we're promoting people on social media, we're doing this and that. But I feel like I'm maybe mistaken. Can you kind of just like very, very briefly elevator pitch what is a publicist and how are you helping? How can we think of ourselves in that way?
Yeah. So there is smoke and mirrors around this whole concept of what the heck is PR and what does a publicist do? So one thing that I learned 10 years ago when I was a journalist is there's marketing. And then under the umbrella of marketing, PR is a subset of overall marketing. Public relations is getting press for your clients, whether it is being on a podcast, whether it's being in a print publication, a digital publication. So it is getting them featured in the media is what a publicist does. You work with your clients, you find the things that are most juiciest for the media, and you pitch those to writers and editors and podcast hosts to get your clients featured in print, digital, podcast, etc.
You may believe this, but even this podcast, I get cold pitches like not every day, but almost every day from people to be on the podcast. And usually it feels like it's almost like it's a bot and they don't really have, they're tangentially like, it's more of like, hey, investment opportunities for real estate people, but there's all these people and they just keep emailing and say, yeah, just following up on this. And then I eventually have to block them because none of it is relevant. And are those real people or is that kind of an automated thing?
The AI, I still do some journalism, not a ton.
Okay.
Even I'm getting the AI pitches now. Hey, what's up, Alex? Who? Come again?
What is up, Alex? So as far as PR goes, real estate media professionals, I mean, we should almost be working hand in hand. We're two different tentacles of the marketing octopus, right? I'm going to go with that analogy, right?
Right.
But there is synergy between us, right? Between real estate media professionals and the PR people.
Absolutely. So, okay. There are amazing PR professionals out there. PR is one of those things where you don't want to go cheap. You want to you want to hire a really vetted, focused PR professional if you're going to go in for that. And it's not cheap.
Right.
However, the skill of learning to do PR for if you are working with real estate professionals, it's a very learnable skill. And what I liken it to is a travel agent. Okay. So
all right.
30 years ago, I wanted to go to New York. I had to get on the horn with a travel agent to book the flights, etc. Now I just go on to Alaska Airlines and I do my own thing. It's a learnable skill to get yourself published and book your own flights to New York. Right. However, if I want to go to Istanbul and learn about tiles and make some, baklava and whatever, maybe I'm going to hire a travel agent for that.
Right.
So it's very comparable, but most of us are trying to get to New York and Vegas and San Francisco.
Right. Well, and there's different types of PR, right? I mean, I feel like the kind of PR that we hear about all the time is like that disaster PR. It's like, oh, you were just accused of some horrible thing, and then you're going to have the fixer come in and try to mitigate that, right?
Right.
And
crisis PR.
Yeah, crisis PR, and that's just like maybe is that a small sliver, or is that just like
that's a very small, extremely specialized sliver. The broader PR world for the real estate world is getting listings, press, right? So that's going to be a huge chunk of it. So are you going to be home of the week in the Wall Street Journal, et cetera? These are like the kind of press that a publicist or a very savvy photographer can pitch themselves to the media to get their clients game-changing press.
Okay. Well, that's interesting to me because and again, we get it too, because we on Instagram every week, we do our house of the week that we've shot, right? And it's something, and believe it or not, we have clients of ours who's saying, hey, do you think my listing could be your house of the week? And they're pitching us to be on our stupid Instagram. And it's not stupid. I mean, we have like 5,000, I don't know, 100,000 followers. I don't know. somewhere between 5,000 and 100,000 followers.
Somewhere in there.
Closer to 5. So we're getting pitched. They're not having their publicist pitch it, but they're pitching it themselves. So I see the path. I kind of understand why they're doing that, because you're just trying to, well, is it true that all publicity is good publicity?
Yeah. In the case of real estate, all publicity is going to be good publicity. And whether they're pitching you to be on your Instagram with between 5 and 100,000 followers, or they're pitching the Wall Street Journal, here's the thing. It's free. You're never going to pay to be in an article in the Wall Street Journal. Yes, you are going to pay handsomely to be in an ad. But true PR, true journalism will never, ever cost anything. That's the whole ethics of it. You can't buy your way in. It is vetted by media professionals. You having this Instagram page, you are, you're the gatekeeper. You're going to choose. That's
very true.
I mean, I don't know if you would feature someone for $1,000. I haven't asked that yet. No, I'm teasing you.
Let's ask that off air.
Yes.
Okay, spoiler alert, the answer is yes. So absolutely we would.
Oh, yes, spoiler alert.
We're not journalists.
We'll post for money. But that has always been the barrier to getting press, is you have to pitch an editor. An editor is going to decide, with all of the different things that they're taking into consideration, they're going to decide whether you get featured in this publication or not.
Okay. Well, so that brings me, I'm not sure how relevant this question is, but I'm curious. So let's say if you want to be in the Wall Street Journal and you want to take an ad, it's going to be $20,000. I don't know how much it would be, right? So as a publicist, do you kind of like, if you're like, if you want to be in the Wall Street Journal, I'm going to charge this much money to get you in there, that is comparable to or a certain percentage of the rate that you would have to pay to advertise in that? I mean, is that kind of how you set your fees?
That's a really good question. So
thank you. I put a lot of thought into it. That
is an excellent question. Okay. So PR has really evolved. So how it used to be is you would pay, you're a real estate agent, you want to be in the Wall Street Journal and Forbes and Fortune, you would pay a publicist a monthly retainer, whether you got press or not. Right. $3,000 to $7,000 a month. Okay. It's pretty expensive. Now we're seeing more pay to play PR, where because that's a big financial commitment with zero guarantees. So now some publicists are structuring it as, look, if I get you that big hit in the Wall Street Journal, it's going to be $5,000. But if I don't get you any hits this whole month, you don't pay me anything. So it's changing a lot. The industry's changing.
And do you think that's more common now? That kind of because I would be much more likely to do that, right? Where it's like, well, if you get results, sure, I'll pay, but I don't want to pay that retainer.
I don't have a sense of that because I don't do traditional PR anymore. I used to work on the retainer framework, but now my business is just, I don't pitch anymore. I just show people how to pitch their own clients.
Okay. So you're like coaching PR people, or you're coaching non-PR people?
Non-PR people. I'm coaching lay people, interior designers and photographers, who
like
deal with
me.
the world, like you. I teach people who don't know anything about PR how to become their own travel agent, as it were, PR strategist.
Okay.
So that they learn how to pitch the media, who to pitch, and when to pitch.
All right.
See, I use the journalism terms, who, what, how.
Okay. I appreciate that. Well, but what is the, what's the value of that for us, right? What's the, because sometimes I feel okay, let me frame it like this. Often we will get a realtor will say, I'm going to be featured in this magazine, this local magazine, and they're going to do an article about this, and they want to use the photos. And I said, okay, well, they're going to have to pay for those photos, right? And then the magazine, because they don't have any money, or whatever, they fake like they don't have any money. It's going to say,
we don't have any budget.
Yeah, and they come back and they say, well, we'll credit you.
Yes.
And so you're getting paid in exposure bucks, right?
Yeah.
Which by the way,
supposedly, right?
Yeah, they do not take exposure bucks at the grocery store. I've checked, and they do not, right? And so, like, I guess then it's like, how do we? Is it still valuable for us to do that? I mean, should we get paid in exposure bucks? Does that work for us?
Okay, so that ship is rapidly leaving port. That train is leaving the station. I don't know what metaphor to use. There's going to be less and less usage fees, not more and more, moving forward. That's where the media is going.
For editorial.
So imagine, however, you have trained yourself as a photographer to pitch your clients. So this means that you have a roster of 10 to 25 editors, local and national, who you've developed a relationship with over a year or two, right? Mm-hmm. So you really know what their scene is. Like, you really know the difference between your California Home and Design and your Arc Digest and your Dwell. Like, you're tapped in and you know your local stuff, to the point where you walk into a home that you're shooting and you're like, ooh, this kitchen, I got a good, you know what? Blah-de-blah would like to know about this. So if you are the kind of real estate photographer who has an editorial eye that you've trained, learnable,
of course,
has the media contacts, doable, and are consistently getting your clients media placements, and your website and your Instagram is communicating, I am a photographer PR hybrid.
Okay.
Who are they going to hire in the competition of other photographers? And you can charge more for that because they are getting two services.
Okay. But are you just like charging a more on your base price, or are these different products?
The photographers in our group, over time, as they get more and more press, as they have more and more relationships, they are charging more for a photo shoot.
Okay. I like that.
They're baking that in.
Right.
If they want to take the other PR model, which is every time I get you a media placement, you pay me, you can create your menu.
Oh. I love menus.
That also exists. Some of the photographers in our group do that, where they're like, if it's national with your image and your quote, it's $400. If it's local with no photo but your name and a quote, it's $250.
How much time would we need to devote to that? If we were offering that as kind of a service, like, do we have does our admin take care of it? Just she works, 2 hours a week on that, or is it something that you need a different person who's working half-time or full-time to do that?
That's a good question. Yeah. So
I'm full of good questions.
So many good questions.
Yeah, this is great.
Pretty impressive, actually.
I like you.
Right back at you. So you can there's some PR tools that I'm super excited to talk about at PMRE, free. I love free things. And sometimes free things are better than paid things. So there's a couple PR tools.
Like this podcast.
This podcast, exactly. Your Instagram page, as of a few minutes ago. So there's a few PR tools that your admin can be using. Okay. PR is like everything good in life. It's about consistency, which is just already exhausting.
That's hard. Yeah,
I know.
That's hard.
I know. So your admin can be doing this consistent using these PR tools that are really super cool.
Right.
The actual cultivation of media relationships you have to do yourself as a photographer. Don't outsource it. Don't have someone else do it. So if you took solidly 2 hours a week, wrote some emails, developed your media list, easy.
But as the photographer, but so many of us, and I know so many listeners to this podcast, and it's the whole. You're probably not that familiar with what we're doing here, but we really built this podcast to support our business as we scale and to help other businesses as they're scaling, right? And so we have all these photographers out, and in fact, I have a business partner. So, and I don't actually shoot anymore. So, should it be me, the CEO, doing that? And because you said it as the photographer, but I can't. But Chelsea, who is our admin, we also have, she's the creative director for branding photographer for us as well. So if we give her a fancy enough title that's not just admin, can she do it? Because the whole thing as CEO is I want to do less work, right? I don't want to do more work. I want to do less work. And make more money.
I'm all about less work. I'm just going to be honest, which is we have had photographers who have perfectly trained their assistants, everything. They've watched all the videos in my course. They don't have as much success. They don't. I mean, I wish I could tell you they did. And here's why. Editors are mercilessly pitched. They get between 100 and 300 pitches a day. There's AI. There's
a day.
90% of the pitches are just either AI or an impersonal pitch that has obviously gone to a whole media list.
Mm-hmm.
I am the recipient. I've done the calcs on my career. I've received over 100,000 pitches. 99,000 of them didn't even read.
Yeah.
Editors are starved for an actual connection. So the more creative person to editor it is, the better.
Mm-hmm.
And the women in our group, I work with mostly women. The women in our group, they have editors then reaching out to them. Hey, I'm doing a story. Do you have any lake houses? We're doing a roundup for the summer issue.
So, okay, but that brings me to a question. Why are you working with mostly women? Is that on purpose for you, or is that just the photographers and business owners who are interior designers who are interested in this?
Yeah,
and I would imagine interior design skews a little more female than say because real estate photography skews a little more male, like kind of a surly, weird males.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
like me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, I saw it in your eyes though.
I didn't say a word. So I work with mostly women for one reason. As women, I'm making a generalization.
Of course.
Probably it's a little bit.
I love generalizations. We make a lot on this show.
Okay. It's probably a little on the older woman side, which is me, there's marketing hesitancy. It's a shared handicap. Mm-hmm. Which is don't want to come out, don't want to appear braggy, want to appear modest. That word demure, that was like all spiky a few weeks ago. That thing. So there's a hesitancy to say, I'm in the world to provide value and make money.
Right.
As women, we struggle with just feeling really good about that. Part of doing your PR is getting comfy with, I'm a business owner and I want to provide obscene value and hopefully make obscene money along the way.
Well, there you go. Well, you need to manifest your inner brat, right? If we want to use the other kind of
what
word.
Was that song?
Yeah, well, it's yeah.
What's I don't know the full concept of the song, although my kids have made me listen to it.
Well, exactly. So I just as both of us older people, we can tangentially kind of know that exists, but I don't know quite what it means. But brat, I'm sure. Yeah, let's just be brat. Yeah. My favorite brat is actually a brat, which then you put in a bun and you eat. But I can get on board with the other kind of brat. That's fine. It's fine.
That's a good kind of brat. So that's why I work with women. However, I'm going to be doing different versions of my course that are going to be also marketed to men in 2025.
Okay, but and that's to say you work mostly with women, but it's open to anybody. Yeah, it's not just because I know there are some organizations that are like, no, we're only females.
Only women for a live course, but we're creating another course for men and women.
Okay, all right. Well, that's the one I'll take.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine because I am a very macho, masculine man.
Clearly,
as everyone knows. So I think that's probably a good place to take a break so people can think about my masculinity as the music comes up here and as we go. So we are going to have our social media sidebar in just a moment. And Alex, I know you emailed me about it. You're very excited about this. And we're going to come back and we're going to talk exactly what Alex is going to do at her workshop, which I'm already very intrigued about. And then also what she's going to talk about at PMRE. And then boom, action items at the end. Alex is she emailed me and said, I got the action item and all action items. So we are ready for that. Okay, we'll be right back. Oh man, I'm always happy to be talking about Aereo. And of course, we're talking about PMRE, and we got to talk about Aereo because Aereo is one of the premier sponsors of PMRE. And, because Aereo is like the best place that we can make our business more efficient and grow our business and serve our clients. I mean, look, we can schedule, we can deliver, we can run payroll, we can, we can, we have an app. We have, our photographers can log in and we can look at the photos. I mean, look, it's just everything. Everything you want to do in this business, you can do through Aereo. And we use it. We've been using it for years. They've been associated with this podcast for years. And I stand by it as much today as I did from episode 1. Aereo. So go to aereo.com. That's ARYEO.com. And if you use the code Upmarket, you're going to get 15 free bonus listings. Please, please, please check out Aereo. You're not going to be disappointed. And look, if you're at PMRE, you can go up to Aereo, the Aereo booth, and they're going to have their whole crew there. They can answer any questions you have. It'll lead you to all the good stuff that is on the Aereo platform, aereo.com. So, I'm going to be moderating this panel at PMRE, and I'm a little distressed because I think we need, for the showroom where the thing is going to be, we need a floor plan. And I don't, where am I going to step? How big is the stage? I don't know because I haven't gotten a floor plan. So the second I get there, I think I'm going to make a floor plan. And, the best way to do that, of course, is second floor app, because I'm going to be there getting ready for this thing. And if I use the second floor app and I scan that showroom, I'm going to instantaneously get a floor plan back because it is so quick. It is so easy that you are going to get floor plans delivered right back to you instantly. And not only can you then use that to, do a panel discussion at PMRE, but you can also use that to upsell to your realtors. You can scan a house in just minutes and get a floor plan with GLA back that you are going to be able to deliver to your client on site if you so desire, and that you're going to be able to upcharge them for that. Hey, you want a floor plan? That's great. Well, I'll deliver it tomorrow. But if you want it today, you got to pay up the wazoo for that. And I love if my wazoo is getting paid, I love, that's a good day. We all love that. So go to secondfloorapp.com/upmarket and you're going to get a free month of service of Second Floor. How many floor plans can you do? You're going to be at PMRE. You bring Second Floor app, you can get a floor plan of your room. You get a floor plan of the showroom. You get a floor plan of Vendor Alley. You get a floor plan of wherever you want in that stinking place. So secondfloorapp.com/upmarket. It's all spelled out. secondfloorapp.com/upmarket. Social media sidebar time. Of course, you all know it because you all follow us. We're Upmarket Pod across all social media. And of course, if you want to see all the amazing actual real estate photography and stuff we do, we're upmarket.media across any of those social media things. And then, I always forget, I should lead with this instead of putting it after our social media, is everyone should be subscribe to the show and rate it 5 stars on your podcast platform of choice. And also, subscribe to us on the YouTube feed, because, if you want to see what Alex and I look like, you can go right to YouTube and you can see those things. And so, Alex, if we are going to find you online or website and social media, where can we find you?
My website is theprcollaborative.co. Mm-hmm. Someone else got COM. That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
And my Instagram is _the PR Collaborative.
Okay.
Someone got the PR Collaborative. It's all good.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
good.
Just
Who
gotta
doesn't
have
want
that.
to be second?
Gotta have that underscore on there, and I got to get on there and follow you. So how I like you're working with interior designers and photographers, and of course you have your own stuff. Are you seeing any trends? Are you seeing anything that's working for people? Do you have any insights to share as a PR person about how we can use social media or what you see working?
Yeah. I'll tell you the biggest mistake I see over and over and over
I love
and
it. Yes.
over again among photographers and interior designers is this focus on people will hire me if my work is good enough. And so we're only showing their work.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I know where this is going.
You know where this is going. And there is...
BTS.
Oh, it wasn't BTS as much as... You need, so what I tell interior designers is, we want you need to create a beautiful kitchen. The client wants a beautiful kitchen. But when the kitchen's done, they want to sit at the bar and have a glass of white wine with the designer who's not an excruciating human being who they actually want to be around. And so if your Instagram is not showing you portraits, every 9 grid, we need to see what you look like. We need to feel you. And the way we feel you on Instagram is your voice. So some static portraits, but then when you do your reels, people don't want to talk on camera. I completely get that. But, the easy way to cheat that is to just have photos of your beautiful spaces, but then to talk over it. There's so much power in your voice, and people are, particularly women, maybe men too, I should just be open to that. People are so starved.
Some of us are terrible.
Well, yes, but people are starved for warmth and talent. When those then that's a hire. Whether you're a photographer or designer, the warmth needs to be there and the capability. But people go too much on just, I went to Harvard, I have this camera, I trained here, I won this award. All of that can absolutely be and should be messaged on your social channels. But that's half of it. That's only half of the hire.
I love that articulation, because I feel like, and you're not seeing him here, but you'll meet him in Las Vegas. My business partner Mark, and I, very quick backstory. We were our biggest competitors in our area, and then we merged our businesses together almost 4 years ago now. And I think we both built our businesses the same way. We didn't have PR people. We didn't have, we didn't do any marketing even. It was really word of mouth. And we both had a high quality of work, but we also, in different ways, are personable people, right? So I can go in and work the room. I can tell a joke. Mark is like, look, he's not nearly as funny as me, but he's like one of the, because actually he's in the room right now, so he can hear me. He is one of the kindest and most genuine people you will meet, and very and competent and reassuring. Like whenever you're like, if Mark is doing your photo shoot, you feel like, okay, everything's going to be okay, right? And so I think that it was the intersection of warmth and competence that built our businesses, and that wasn't, we didn't do it on Instagram, but that's the path right there, man.
That's the path, and Instagram is too much just competency and talent, and like I heard this thing and it would just hit me, which is charisma is so important in business when you want to make money.
Yes,
charisma is warmth plus expertise, but you can be an introvert and be warm. That's not about being an extrovert. Warmth can be quiet and shy, but still warm.
Okay. I don't know. Am I an introvert or an extrovert?
I don't think you're an introvert. That's just my gut.
Can I be in between?
An introvert?
No.
I'm a closet introvert.
See, I might be closeted too. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like to keep to myself sometimes, but I'm also pretty
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm in a weird time in my life. I'm juggling multiple midlife crises. So you know what? Oh God, let's not get into that. Let's take another quick break. That was a lot about social media, but I think it boils down to the thing we talk about over and over and over and over and over again is authenticity. right? And so if you are
100%.
authentic to who you are and authentic to your warmth, because I know a lot of real estate photographers, and 70% of them are very warm. So those 70% should show that on their Instagram. And I think just be authentic. That's all it is.
People are starved for it. Guarantee.
Yeah. All right, guarantee. All right. Oh, Alex, this is so great. Okay, so look, obviously we've been getting so much good stuff. We're going to have a lot more, and we got action items at the end. We will be right back. Oh man, I'm here with Skylar Lawrence LaBelle, and we're going to talk about iGUIDE for just a minute. Hey, Skylar, lay it on me. Hey, convince me to use iGUIDE.
Hey, Reed, I'll keep it short and sweet. But really, at iGUIDE, we're here to help real estate photographers, just like yourself and just like your thousands of listeners, help them grow their business. How do we do that? Here at iGUIDE, we do it through our 3D virtual tours and precise, accurate floor plans. Many are probably aware, but we've got our quick capture camera system in the Plan X Pro. And then we've got a variety of deliverables from iGUIDE Instant. You're getting that tour back in minutes to iGUIDE Standard or Premium.
Oh, I love it. The getting it back in minutes, man, that is so key. Again, I've said it so many times on this show, but man, speed of delivery is like the number one thing that our clients are always harping on us for. So anytime we can get something out faster, and if it's available in minutes, then you're going to be able to upcharge if you could deliver same day for an upcharge. I mean, that's what I care about, is making money, making my client's life better, and then making money. So
there you go.
iGUIDE is the way to go. So Skylar, thanks for that. See you in Las Vegas.
I can't wait. See you in November.
All right, we're back with Alex Abramian of the PR Collaborative. And Alex, okay, lay it on us. You're going to be at PMRE. You're going to do like an hour on stage, and you're doing a workshop, I think on the Tuesday, right? Before
on Tuesday.
On Tuesday. Okay. Hit us with what you're going to talk about on stage, and then I want to talk about what you're going to do in that workshop, because it probably, I'm assuming, builds on what you're going to do on stage and is a deeper dive, because you have hours and hours to do it. So.
Yeah. Okay, so my hour-long presentation on the main stage, I'm going to talk about how the media is changing at lightning speed. Like when I first talked to Brandon 6 months ago, so many changes have happened since then. It's just staggering how much. And it's not just magazines closing and magazines opening. It's the way people are reaching out to editors, and it's mostly what magazines and newspapers are covering is really changing very quickly. The good news is for a self-taught PR strategist, this is all good news. There's a lot of opportunity, new opportunity that didn't exist 6 months ago, 6 years ago. There's a lot more content being shared out there, and there's a lot more opportunity for someone who understands the skill of when to pitch the media to get their clients' work or their own work published. So, and then I'm going to talk about this new PR tool that debuted pretty recently that I'm just in awe of how incredible it is, how free it is, and how much media potential is just baked into this, and anyone can use it.
Okay. And then what is the workshop about? Well, I mean, why do we want to spend 8 hours? Is it 7 hours, 6 hours? I don't know.
It's quite a while, but we're going to have Armenian food in the middle if I can find some in Vegas, or at least
you probably
Middle
can.
Eastern
Come on,
food.
there's got to be Armenian. So you're Armenian. Yes,
Half-breed.
the IAN at the end of the name.
My father
that's
is
the
Armenian.
tip off. That's the tip off, right? For Armenians.
Yes, exactly. So we're going to break it up with some snacks, with a nice lunch. And that's very Armenian to start with the food when I'm talking about a presentation, but that's okay.
There you go. All right.
So it's going to be the A to Z. I'm going to give photographers everything they need to get press for their clients. We're going to start from one of the main things is to show people what the media is looking for right now. There's really specific kinds of homes, kinds of condos that the media is very hungry for. So starting to train your eye to understand what the media wants. How to craft a pitch. There's an absolute art to it. It's not that complicated, but there's a very strict do's and don'ts. Who to pitch. So if I'm in a local publication in Phoenix, who do I pitch if I want to reach local media? Who do I pitch if I want to take this project nationally? And then we get into some fun other things, which is self-publishing your work, understanding how media calendars work. So it's really the A to Z course, which I usually teach over the period of 5 months in 7 hours.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
But there's a lot of value, I feel like. And then people, obviously you're there to answer questions, you're there to interact with the people. And then of course you'll do that on Tuesday, and then you're around for a couple days for the conference. I'm around for a couple
days. I love to talk about all this stuff.
What day is your presentation?
Tuesday is the all day, and then Friday is my presentation. So I'm in Vegas
so you're on day 3. So it's the optional day 3 is when Alex is going to be doing her thing. So why would you go and not partake in the optional day 3? I don't really know. I'll be there for day 3. My panel is on day 2, but you know what? That'll be great because I will be so I'm going to drink so much after my panel. I'll be hungover for your presentation on Friday. That'll be good. And maybe I will take the course or your workshop just so I can have the food.
The food. I would come for the food and the materials because it is all the materials, lifetime access to them, and they're all Google Docs. So as they get updated, you get all the updates, and you get my media list, which has 300 plus people on it at this point.
Right. Okay. But so but then clearly you also have an online course. For people that cannot make it to Las Vegas, right? So self-paced online course where we meet live so that I can answer questions, etc. It struck me when you said, okay, if you're in Phoenix and you have this, the Phoenix magazine or whatever, is there value other than ego for getting your realtor in Phoenix or in a place that's not LA, New York or whatever into the national press? I mean, is there, I guess that agent can still trumpet that as like, oh yeah, we're featured in the national press, but that doesn't actually then help them sell that house. Right.
Well, if it's a expensive house and then it's going to attract international buyers for sure, like at least here in LA, most of the big 10 million and above transactions are not bought by people in Los Angeles. Right. So there's that. But one thing that we talk a lot about in the PR Collaborative is the 1-2 PR punch, which is local and national/international. So yes, we want the local to attract our new people, new eyeballs, right? So that suddenly there's awareness of who we are if we're a real estate agent. So that local media is absolutely critical to gaining new clients and brand awareness. However, the national is key to converting them. So I read my Phoenix publication and I'm like, oh, who's this guy? Okay, let me go to his website. Oh, Wall Street Journal, Forbes? Well, none of the other Yahoos in town have been in the Wall Street Journal and Forbes. So maybe this one's the one to hire. Like my dumb anecdote. I was on Pinterest and there was this stupid product to get nail polish off your nails, Sure. And I was like, oh, it's $12. It's probably stupid. It probably doesn't work. So I went to the website and then it had linked articles, not just the logos, but linked articles to Allure and Vogue. They got my $12. And I was like, kind of like, you know what? PR does work.
It does work. What absolutely does work. And so what is I'm imagining you go over this in the workshop, but what is the angle that because I assume anytime you're trying to get a home into a national or a local publication, you have to have an angle, right? Oh, it's got this, it's got that, it's got the other thing. And for us out here, often, I mean, we got some national press. We did not do any PR ourselves. I think the real estate agents did it. I think it was in the Wall Street Journal because we shot Johnny Cash's house that was up here, right? And so and it had a black toilet and all that kind of stuff. And and I feel like for us, that would have been a very easy one to be like, put all your principles into work is like, hey, we shot, this is Johnny Cash's
1000%.
mid-century house. And so that, right. But what, I mean, is that how you have to do it? Is you have to come up with an angle?
Yes.
Or can you, yeah. So, okay. So
yes. Okay,
what are
so
the different things you want to think about? Yeah.
The magic mix to stand out to the media is you need incredible photos. That's non-negotiable. The quality of the images.
We're upmarket, baby.
A lot of people don't realize that who are pitching the media. Incredible photos with a backstory. So we talk in the PR Collaborative every single month. Top editors come and join us on Zoom from New York Times, Arc Digest. I keep asking people, they keep saying yes. I'm like shocked. Like, you're going to join us? Like, we're no one. We're just 40 women. Right. And they join us. So one of my stock questions is, what do you want in a pitch? And it's always the same. We want to keep it brief. Don't send me a novel. Keep it brief, but I need the backstory and I need great images. So what are the specific backstories? I am going to be sharing that exactly on the main stage.
Okay.
But I will tell you right now, even though we live in a celebrity-obsessed culture where we're chasing two things about celebrity. Three. One, it's annoying. Two, the notion of what celebrity is really expanding. So if it is someone behind the camera, like an agent or an editor, that counts in Hollywood. Tech people are the new celebrities. So even the CFO of this cybersecurity company, that now counts as celebrity if they're willing to part with their information.
Sad state of affairs here. So yeah.
Very sad state of affairs. But also non-celebrities can be a very powerful way to activate an editor's interest of a homeowner backstory that really provides, it goes back to our hunger for warmth. We're hungry for this human touch. So if we're going to talk about this man who built his home and 2 weeks later, the entire home flooded and he rebuilt it over the course of 6 months, if you tell that story compellingly, you're going to wake up an editor.
Right. Like, it's storytelling. Come on. I mean, it
is storytelling. That's one story bucket. There's 4 that, repeat over and over again, and I will be sharing every last one. How's that for a teaser?
Can you give us one more? Can you give us one more on this podcast?
One more? Well, for real estate photography, the eternal one is the crazy amenities. Now, if you can get into crazy amenities that reflect the cultural zeitgeist, now you're like really, really getting into very warm PR territory. So,
the stuff that's going to get you featured on Zillow Gone Wild, where they, steal our photos and then put them up there for their own personal gain, right? Yeah. Anyway, but go ahead. Yeah, finish your thought there. Yeah.
Just people love to know what rich people are obsessed with. My editor at the Hollywood Reporter, when I was the real estate editor there, the dream was to highlight rich people as ridiculous humans. That's what got everyone clicking. So I did a story once on homes with moats, 10 years ago. And it just made them look preposterous and ridiculous.
I would have a moat. I would do
people love to click on it. Yeah.
For keeping out intruders, it's good.
Photographer, ears, eyes open for the crazy amenities.
Well, right, because I remember there was one that went viral, I don't know, a year or two ago, and I think it was in Iowa or somewhere like that, where it had the prison. Like, it's just a normal house, and then it had like a bunch of like prison cells or something in there. Like, it was, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's but that is something that I think when you're shooting it, like you note that's like, oh yeah,
right.
That's a little bit.
It could
different.
Even be something like the Wall Street Journal did a piece on like indoor trees. Rich people competing for the biggest indoor tree.
Yeah, I once shot a house that had a boulder in it. They just built
very
around the boulder. Yeah. Oh, see, very cool. Yeah. And guess where that was? Santa Barbara or Montecito, one of those two stupid places.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
PR gold, a boulder in a house. That's PR gold. For real.
that is crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. All right. Well, okay. We want to wrap this up in a moment here, but can you, is there like a value, like a number that we can come up with where that you feel like we can, like, what can we charge? And obviously if we are like doing our base rate, if we're just if we're value adding on top of the services we already provide. And so we provide all this and it's a premium service. So our photo shoots are more expensive than our competition. But if it is a menu of like stuff, like, are we saying like, this is like, a couple $100 at the minimum up to a couple thousand? I mean, what is the range and stuff we can think about?
First of all, I'm going to say the menu concept, I think is way more attuned to a real estate agent, right? Like interior designers are more like, I'll pay more to have like,
right.
But I feel like real estate agents, like we were saying, they're just so like bottom line focused and want to think that they're in control of everything. So I think the menu item is a good way to go with them.
And that's all our clients are real estate, agents,
so I like the menu way instead of like charging 20% more at the outset where you're going to put your, if you're now much higher than the next person and now you have this pressure of performing on a PR level, which you cannot control. Right? That could lead to a total disconnect in expectations. So if you say, hey, I'm going to shoot it, then I'm going to pitch it. If I get placed, here's my menu. Take a look. So for context, there is a guy in Europe who will reach out to interior designers if he likes their work. And he says, risk-free, I would like to pitch this to publications in Europe. If I get a home tour, digital, it's $5,000. And if I get a home tour print, it's $7,500. Just for context, I mean, it's like crazy. Yeah. But I think that you could say something like between, if it's one image with a quote, you could say something like $400 to $600. Okay. And like digitally, that for a digital national, that's got a ton of value. They say that editorial. Now this is, I can't prove this, but the common wisdom is editorial versus ads. Editorial is read 5 times more than ads.
There you go. Okay. That brings me to, that was the last question, but you know what? Let's do another question. We have mentioned once or twice on this podcast that realtors are not necessarily the sharpest stick in the bundle. And do they actually know the difference between an ad and an article?
I can tell you unequivocally, they have no idea what the difference between a $5,000 ad is and an article. And the irony is, so you can't buy an article, right? Like we've said, an ad is $500 to $5,000. An ad's not going to get read. An article is going to get read. As a reporter covering real estate for years and years and years, what I always found is the upper echelon of the agents here in LA who are doing the 10 million and above homes, they're cool. They get it. They're savvy. And if a journalist calls, they're going to pick up the phone because they know that this article is going to be worth $50,000 to get the placement. The dipshits are going to say, I don't want to be sold anything.
Right.
And I would say so many times, I'm not selling. I'm a reporter. I'm not selling ads. I'm working on an article. Okay, but I still don't want to pay for it. Well, it has no price tag. I would just want to get a quote. So, like when you open a magazine and there's that thing that you read, that's what I do.
They're like, I don't read. What are you talking about?
I've been told to fuck off. I've been hung up on so many times trying to give press to real estate agents. Any other industry, interior designer, architect, restaurant owner, hotel owner, they would be like, oh my gosh, wait, what? Hollywood. Okay, hang on. Yeah. Everyone shut up. This is important.
Right. It's Hollywood Reporter on the phone. It is, real estate agents are not necessarily, yeah. To be fair, I hate being fair to real estate agents, but let's be fair for just a moment. These people are pitched so many services, so many people.
That's
So,
the problem.
that constantly, they're in their inbox. There's loan people, there's title people, there's home warranty people, there's photographers, there's the on and on and on.
I still invite them to learn what a journalist, writer, editor is and to perk up their ears, because all the big ballers in LA, they know what it is. Like
Right.
I've done roundtables with the Mauricio Umansky types.
Mm-hmm.
They make you feel real special because they want good press.
Right. They get it. It. Yeah. And there's probably one agent in every single market who probably gets it, who, and now they have all the shows, they see all the LA agents.
Who gets all the press.
Yeah. People get it. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Well, I think to educate real estate agents, it would mean we have to take action. And so I think that means it's time for our action items, which, are sponsored by Pixel CRM. Pixel CRM is the only CRM out there that was designed by a real estate photographer for real estate media professionals. We've been using Pixel CRM, and it's been great. And we still, and I think one of our summer projects is going to be diving more into Pixel CRM and having it do more for us. Yeah. But already all the stuff it does, we're doing our mailing list, we're doing the reviews, we're doing a few other things. I mean, it's been really fantastic. So go to pixelcrm.com/upmarket and you are going to get a risk-free 30-day trial.
I mean, come on, people.
Yeah. The one thing about pixelcrm.com, it's pixlcrm.com. There's no E. Mm-hmm.
It's the hip pixel.
It's the hip pixel. Pixelcrm.com. And yours is better than mine, I think. So I'll go first, so we can end strong. We can end strongly.
Okay. What's your action item?
Well, my action item is actually to going with the theme of the show. It's to make a connection with someone who is a journalist.
I love that action item so much.
Oh my God. Thank you.
I love that action item. It dovetails with my action item.
Okay, perfect. Well, I kind of went thematically with what we're talking about is there are publications you might have, even if it's just the local newspaper or there's where we are. I mean, there's a few different, actually still magazines around that are focused on local stuff. And the town I live in is, Ojai is a little bit of a tourist town. So we have magazines that are catered to tourists, and which is basically kept afloat by realtors who are putting ads in those magazines, trying to show it to tourists, right? So, make a connection at one of those places. And in fact, I know the editor of personally of one of the Ojai magazines. So you know what? I see a little pathway. Maybe I'll put my action item into action. So
I think you should put your action item into action.
All right.
So my
Alex,
action item
please.
is the following, and it totally leads to what you were just saying.
Oh, good.
So if I'm a photographer, a real estate photographer, and I want to start to get my work featured in more or start out local and national publications, this is going to sound stupid and kind of frustratingly simple, but this is what 99% of people don't do.
Okay.
You got to pick up the darn publication and you got to read it. Most people don't do that. So you get this.
Okay, you're showing House Beautiful.
I'm showing House Beautiful, but I could show HGTV. I'll show Country Home. This is one of my favorite magazines in the world.
Okay, Country Home.
So I'm going to show Country Home. All right. Mm-hmm. I want you to look, when you get a magazine, whether it's a newspaper or a magazine, whether it's national or local, you're going to go to two places.
Okay.
The table of contents.
Table of contents. All right.
This shows you what they cover and how they cover it. This is just your quick navigation of what they cover. And then I want you to go to the masthead.
And the masthead, for people not watching our YouTube channel, which is
I'm showing.
Which is Upmarket Pod on YouTube. It is the masthead is of course where all the staff and the editor and everyone is listed, and often there will be some contact information there, I presume.
Contact information, you can always find the contact information if it's not here. Also, just go to their website where they show the advertising contact, because they'll always give you the info to take your money, and then you can infer the other people's emails. Get curious with what the publication covers and doesn't cover. That is your editors will smell it when you email them that you're familiar with what they do. Mm-hmm. Get familiar with 5 to 10 publications. that can change the course of your career. Just knowing
There you
that.
go.
You don't need 50 publications. You need 5
There
to
you
10.
go. No, but and again, I want to piggyback on that to say, and it just really needs to be authentic, and that's why you actually need to read it. Because going back to all the pitches I get for people to come on the show, they'll be like, and I always know when it's just like garbage, and I don't need to look at it because they say, "Hi, Reed, I've really been enjoying Upmarket, the business of real estate photography and media." They use the full title, which is Upmarket, right?
Totally.
Yeah, and then they say, "Oh, and your recent episode about this," in which they summarize the description, and then it's just like, "Oh, yeah, you have not ever listened to 1 second of this podcast."
Yeah.
So if you come authentically, they're going to go. And so authentically, Alex, I do want to say thank you very much for being on the podcast. I very much enjoyed it. And even more authentically, I want to thank our listeners, because without them, we're nothing. And I really appreciate everyone listening. And I hope you got a lot out of this. And I hope you're going to be coming to PMRE. And remember, use the code Upmarket100. There's still tickets left. Upmarket100. You're going to get $100 off the PMRE admission price. And then you can use the code Upmarket75 if you want to do the online only on-demand live stream of the conference. So those are 2 ways. I cannot stress enough how wonderful this conference is and how you want to be a part of it and actually meet Alex in person and pick her brain. And, it's only going to help your business. And so, Alex, thank you again. Thank you, listeners. We will be back soon with another episode. Upmarket is a production of Upmarket Studios. This episode was produced by Chelsea Froelich and edited by Bethany Diedrich. Thank you so much for listening, and we really hope you listen to the next one too. In the meantime, our wish for you is to not have to shoot any Friday night Twilight shoots. Thank you for everything.